The moment we've been waiting for has finally come. The reveal of Luffy's Gear 5th and the return of JoyBoy. The One Piece community has waited 7 long years since the reveal of Gear 4th to witness the awakening of Luffy's Devil Fruit, the Gomo Gomo no Mi, which we now know to actually be the Hito no Mi, mythical version, Model Nika. This episode has broken the internet, sparking passionate debates and discussions across the globe as we collectively seek to make sense of this iconic reveal. In this discussion, we will delve into the implications of Luffy's transformation, while also breaking down the insane events of episode 1071. As we dive into the episode, Luffy can be seen speaking against the backdrop of intensifying drum sounds, which could be an indication of Luffy's heart beating at a remarkable rate, creating a sound akin to a drum. This drum sound, ascribed to the colossal elephant Zunisha, signifies liberation. It's highly probable that JoyBoy, who held the same fruit as Luffy, also activated this mode in his era while liberating various races and battling their oppressors. During this process, Luffy seems taken aback by the events. One moment, he appears lifeless, and the next, he's up and about, as if nothing happened. Instead, he comments on a sudden surge of excitement. It seems Luffy has awakened after the significant defeat he suffered at the hands of Kaido. With an increase in haki, black lightning can be seen emerging atop Onigashima. Upon seeing this, Momo questions if JoyBoy refers to Luffy. Yamato also seems surprised given her knowledge of JoyBoy from Oden's journal. In the pleasure hall, Sanji rises after sensing something, looks up, and realizes it's Luffy. The live floor also witnesses astonishment as Kid, Law, and Hyogoro are stunned. Marco reassures Nami and Tama that Luffy isn't gone, he's still alive. This sparks a celebration as Luffy has held true to his promise. The joy everyone experiences with Luffy's awakening reflects back to JoyBoy himself, known to be an exuberantly happy person who was constantly smiling. Even Roger and his crew were moved to laughter by the story and treasure JoyBoy left on Final Island, leading them to name the island Laugh Tale. Given this, it's plausible that JoyBoy's name was assigned to him due to the Devil Fruit's effect. Meanwhile, the elders wonder if provoking Kaido and losing one of their top agents was worth it to suppress Luffy. The elder with dreadlocks confirms it was worth it, considering the threat Luffy could present in the future. Another elder states that the world government has consistently pursued the Gomo Gomo no Mi throughout every era, but it always evades their grasp. This has been the case since JoyBoy's era 800 years prior, and they have never been successful. But you can be successful by making sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. One of the elders continues the discussion, stating that Zoan fruits seem to have a will of their own, influencing their users. This concept is intriguing, as we have seen Zoan fruits impacting their users throughout the story. For instance, after Kaku consumed the giraffe fruit in Water 7 at Eni's lobby, his personality seemed to change, suggesting the fruit's influence. He transitioned from a cold-blooded killer in Water 7 to bickering with Jabra in Eni's lobby. In addition, during his fight against Zoro, his demeanor seemed different. The elders continue their discussion, stating that the actual name of the Gomo Gomo no Mi relates to the name of a god. As we shared in our last review, Luffy is JoyBoy, and he has the Nika fruit. Was this the information that Shanks disclosed to the 5 elders? Many fans in the One Piece community speculate that the pirate Shanks was talking about was indeed Luffy, but this has yet to be confirmed. Getting back to the story, we are greeted with an exhilarating illustration of Luffy, who seems to be in high spirits. His silhouette, in the shape of Nika without any weapons, is reminiscent of an earlier depiction. The backdrop, featuring a radiant moon with Luffy's infectious laughter underneath, adds a theatrical effect. The Gorosei describes how the Hito no Mi model Nika allows its user's body to have rubber-like properties, enabling him to engage in combat as he pleases, thereby spreading joy and smiles in his wake. Luffy is thus referenced to as the Liberation Warrior, and also as the Sun God Nika. His awakening, in essence, enhances his rubberized body, lending it greater strength and flexibility, making it the most peculiar power in the world. Now, there is much to dissect and discuss here, so let's delve into it. As we mentioned in previous conversations, Luffy's Devil Fruit is not an ordinary one. It is a mythical Zoan type. Unlike Kaido and Marco, who have different facets to their abilities, Marco's transformation into a phoenix or Kaido's breath weapon, Luffy's body possesses the singular quality of being rubber-like. However, this does not capture the entirety of Luffy's abilities. It's only a part of it. The core essence of Luffy's Devil Fruit power can be described as freedom. It grants this freedom not only to Luffy but also to those around him. In a literal sense, Luffy embodies freedom. He uses this power to freely stretch any part of his body at will. With his awakening, it seems as if he can manipulate reality itself within the bounds of his creativity in a manner similar to how he manipulates his body. This is strikingly parallel to the concept of other awakenings, which share the innate ability of the user with their surroundings. Luffy is doing the exact same thing, but because his Devil Fruit isn't merely rubber, he isn't just transmitting rubber-like qualities to his environment, he's also disseminating the spirit of freedom. The contagious joy he carries is indeed a shared experience among his comrades. Revisiting the notion that Luffy's Devil Fruit essentially signifies flexibility, freedom, and creativity, we can't help but appreciate how such concepts have led to the development of the gears. Later in the episode, we witness Luffy's ability to turn his surroundings into a surreal, cartoon-like environment. Kaido's reactions and Luffy's own transformations recall images of classic characters like Popeye the Sailor Man. This brings clarity to how JoyBoy or Nika might have spread laughter. He was like a walking animation studio. Some community members have expressed concerns about a potential power imbalance, with Luffy now being able to drastically change his environment, giving him an upper hand. They fear this might make the rest of the story seem like a breeze for him. However, they seem to have forgotten about the formidable adversary that is Blackbeard, whose powers pose a significant challenge to Luffy. Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi ability can nullify all Devil Fruit powers and could potentially constrain Luffy's freedom. This conflict between the Black Hole, symbolizing repression and greed, and Nika, the sun that brings dawn and liberation, fits perfectly with the overall narrative of One Piece. Speaking of the drawbacks, each time Luffy tries something new, there is always a limitation, similar to Gear 5th's aging effects upon deactivation. The idea from last week suggesting that Luffy's base state could be similar to resin, a type of oil, might still be plausible. The animated scenes could be a manifestation of Luffy altering reality, replacing it with a rubber-like property. This ability allows Luffy to fight creatively, much like an artist who enjoys the freedom to shape the world as they see fit, suggesting a high degree of freedom and expression. Recalling an instance from the SBS Question Corner, where Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, was asked about Luffy's increasing power, it's important to understand that he intentionally chose a goofy power for Luffy. He didn't want a cliché, cool hero for his long-running manga. No matter how grim or intense the story becomes, Luffy continues to stretch and inflate, which provides a chance to lighten the mood. Oda wanted to have creative freedom and a way to exhibit his artistry, ensuring that his work could amuse readers, even in the darkest times. To embody this idea, he made Luffy's power a literal manifestation of freedom and expression. Luffy, with the Hito no Mi model Nika, is imbued with this spirit of freedom and creativity. Later, Luffy remarks about feeling like he can accomplish anything, which is not solely because Gear 5th gave him something new, but more because it helped him to better understand his own fruit's potential. This can be traced back to earlier episodes, where Luffy came up with a gear system to adapt to specific challenges. When he needed speed to counter Soru, he developed Gear 2nd. When he required increased strength, he created Gear 3rd. On Thriller Bark, Luffy absorbed an astonishing number of shadows, a feat previously unheard of, and turned into Nightmare Luffy. Gear 4th was inspired by his training with wild animals. In each case, Luffy creatively adapted to the circumstances and made the most of his abilities. This knack for creativity and adaptation, coupled with his newly discovered awakening, promises to make the story of One Piece even more exciting in the future. Now, back to the fight. In a dramatic scene, Luffy's giant arm pierces through the roof, grabbing Kaido in his dragon form effortlessly. Observers on the ground are taken aback by the spectacle. Chopper, overjoyed at seeing Luffy alive, provides a stark contrast to his despair in a previous episode when Kaido claimed that Luffy was defeated. However, Kaido's presumption proved to be incorrect, much to everyone's relief. We witness a moment of great anticipation as Monkey D. Luffy pulls Kaido up from a hole, setting the stage for an epic confrontation where both fighters are genuinely committed and not merely driven by power. Amid this pivotal scene, one might wonder about the implications for the original movie plot. Now, a query might cross your mind. Is this the grand finale? Are we witnessing the culmination of years of escalating tension where Luffy, the proverbial underdog, makes a mockery of the Emperor of the Sea? As the battle unfolds, Luffy whirls Kaido around as his muscle mass enlarges. He toys with the so-called strongest creature in the world, spinning him until he's incredibly dizzy, before catapulting him back and forth into the ground in an almost cartoonish fashion. It's a scene that could be straight out of a Looney Tunes sketch. As Luffy revels in the humor of the situation, it's easy to imagine that the manga's creator, Ichiro Oda, must also have been amused while crafting these panels. Eventually, Kaido rises, clearly disoriented, and expresses his joy at Luffy's survival, immediately attempting to eliminate him with a Borrow Breath attack. Luffy, still laughing and lying on the floor, is momentarily startled by the Borrow Breath, but swiftly responds by gripping the ground and stretching it. The ground takes on a rubber consistency, reminiscent of the fan theories about Luffy's awakening. Luffy, who had previously faced Katakuri and his similar abilities, likely learned how to master this technique from that encounter. Kaido's Borrow Breath hits the rubberized ground, which, instead of being obliterated, resists the attack. Luffy, once again in his muscular form, tugs at the ground, causing the Borrow Breath to ricochet back towards Kaido. The subsequent explosion reveals Luffy now bearing distinct similarities to the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, an outcome that we had speculated in previous discussions. Adorned with flame-like eyebrows and hair, and a collar-like nimbus cloud around his neck, Luffy's new form also features the crown-like eyebrows characteristic of Sun Wukong. Furthermore, his eyes share a certain similarity with Zunisha or Imu, which could be a subtle hint at the light referenced by Kaido and Big Mom in their flashbacks. As the battle progresses, we see Luffy laughing incessantly and Kaido rising to his feet. Luffy's Gear 5th is officially debuted amidst the chaos. Kaido then expresses remorse for his previous misconduct on the roof where, distracted by a CP0 agent, Luffy was caught off guard. However, Luffy dismisses the past indiscretion with characteristic optimism, claiming that he has already forgotten about it. With a beaming smile and an unmistakable air of resolve, he invites Kaido to conclude their showdown. The episode ends on this high note, leaving the audience eagerly anticipating what happens next. If you enjoyed learning more about Luffy's newfound powers, make sure to show your support by liking this video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below sharing your favorite One Piece moment or any other thoughts you have about the series. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to AJ Anime for more exciting anime content and stay updated on our future rankings, discussions, and analyses. Your support means the world to us, and we appreciate you being a part of our anime-loving community. Like, comment, and subscribe now to never miss out on the thrilling adventures that await us.